Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show! I am your host, Andrew Illy! And this is the ball of motherfucking truth, man. Episode 41. Thank you very much for joining me. Wherever you are around the world, wherever you are, you silly motherfuckers. Guys and girls. It's all good, man. Everything is all good. I'm good. I hope you are well too. Thank you again for joining me, man. Wow. The Navy Blues season comes to an end, man. What a fucking season that was. What a roller coaster. It really was. Man, I don't even know where to begin, really. But I've learned so much about this side, man. This rejuvenated Carlton side. And I'm sure the players have learned something new about themselves too across this whole journey, man. And this season alone has just been one of the craziest things in football in general, man. Not just because it's Carlton. The story is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I am so fucking proud. So fucking proud of this team, man. A few months ago, I spoke about that crazy moment that we had. It was the game before the bye against the Gold Coast Suns, where it felt like that curse had been lifted and the curse was broken. It was that game before the bye. And during that game, man, and so on for the rest of the season, the footy we were playing, it was daring, it was free-flowing, fearless. It was fucking fearless footy. And it was trailblazing. That's the best way I can describe it, man. And the belief within this team, it reached ridiculous heights. New levels that will never... We haven't seen these kind of heights in decades, man. It's crazy. And there was probably the best way to describe it was there was a never say die attitude. We just didn't give up, man. And we just kept going and going and going until there was nothing left. And that's why I'm so fucking proud, man. I am very proud of us that we made a preliminary final. Because at one point during this season, it looked impossible. It really did. It seemed impossible. And because of the hurt of missing out on finals last year, by the most minuscule amount, or minuscule of margins, and even during this season, the hurt that we felt during it, I mean, we were 15th on the ladder at round 15. And during that time, man, we had a 9-game stretch, a 9-game period where we lost 8 out of those 9 games, and the only win was against Eagles. And that was an easy win. We won by 100 points. No one gave a fuck. It was more about that, all those losses surrounding that. Michael Voss, our coach, had major adversity to overcome. This year alone, I mean, there would have been pressure on him last year. But this year, during that patch, man, oh my God, people were calling for his head. They were. And during that time, we had bad injuries, man. Throughout the whole season, really. We only kind of got fit, like some of our players back towards the end. But they weren't 100% fully fit, which we'll go through. We'll cover later on in the episode. But the media were on us. Our fans were on us. They were all pointing fingers. And the players had their own adversity to go through and overcome. And that adversity that the players were going through, man. I mean, that kind of pressure, it seemed like we were doomed to fail again. I mean, we failed last year. We really did. It was a failure of a season because we didn't make finals. So there was so much pressure on us to make finals. And halfway during the year, man, it didn't look likely at all. It really didn't. No one would have expected this outcome at this point of where we are right now. And in saying that, something like that cannot happen next season, which we'll get into, because I'm sure they've learnt from it now. You just never know when or if you will ever get that opportunity again, the one that we've had this year. I mean, who knows? Next year we might not even make the 8. You just don't know. Anything can happen. That's why you can't take anything for granted in footy, man. Any match during the season, anything. Every match is so crucial. And that's what the craziest part is, man. It feels like we took it for granted during the year. But then how much did we appreciate it by the end? It's crazy. I mean, in the second half of the year, we won 9 games in a row. The Navy Blues finished 5th on the ladder and secure a home final, elimination final against the Swans, which we won. And that put us through to the second elimination final against Melbourne last week, which was absolute epic. Probably the best game, one of the best games I've ever witnessed in my life. And that set us up to be in our first preliminary final in 23 years. I think 2000 was the last time. 99 was the last time we won one against the Bombers, but I think we lost the 2000 one. Yes, we did. Now, unfortunately, this year, we just fell short to the Brisbane Lions on Saturday at the Gabba, but there is absolutely no shame at all in losing to the Lions at the Gabba, man. They're undefeated there. They're undefeated. But look, we'll break it down. We'll break it down the best we can. But these lads, these Navy Blues, our players, man, they were battered and bruised and sore. And a lot of players were hurt going into the game. And you know what? We still almost made it to the dance. Amazing. It's remarkable, really. The turnaround. Incredible. Lions were fresh. They had a 2-week break. They absolutely fisted Port Adelaide. And then Port Adelaide got fisted to the Giants. So they were fresh as, man. Now, these aren't excuses. They're just reasons. And there's a few reasons we did lose on the weekend. But yeah, man, like I said, no excuses. On that note, next season, it must be a goal. Like the number one goal to finish top 4. It is so fucking important, man, to have that break. But you live, you learn. And that's why I said the shit that happened this season, that 9-game stretch where we lost 8 of those 9 games, it can't happen, man. And I know we came back and we ended up 5th, but imagine what could have been if we won a few of those games, man. Top 4, extra break, you just never know. Players won't be as sore and unhealthy as they were. I travelled up to the Gabba, man. I really, really felt like I needed to be there. And I spent a lot of money to do it. Probably broke the bank, man. Because it's absolutely ridiculous that the prices went up this much. But I just felt like I needed to be there. Especially this time. You just never know when you're going to reach a prelim ever again. So I was pumped, man. I thought we had a real chance. I thought we had a real good chance at winning this game. And I'll tell you, man, Saturday, I rocked up at the airport, Melbourne Tullamarine Airport. There was a sea of navy blue, man, everywhere. So many fans wearing Carlton gear, heading to Brisbane to the Gabba, man. It was amazing to see. I was getting so excited. And I was up real early and it just buzzed me, man. I was so awake after that. Getting pumped from having convos with all these blue supporters. It was amazing. I had to stop over at Sydney And there was more Carlton supporters who were flying from Sydney over to Brisbane, which was awesome to see. Finally get to Brisbane and man, it's buzzing. There's a good energy about it. Nice feeling in the air. And anyway, man, we get to the Gabba. And all I fucking see, man, is Carlton supporters. Everywhere. I don't know what I'd stepped into. The whole level 1... And I was walking around the stadium, and let me tell you this, guys. The Gabba could be one of the most stupidly designed stadiums I've ever seen. It definitely needs a revamp. But, man, there's probably like one lift and one staircase to go up a level. To level 2, 3. You just can't find it. I was doing circles, man, around the Gabba. But as I was doing these circles, man, there was just Carlton supporters everywhere. I didn't see one Lions supporter. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if I arrived a little bit early or not. Man, it was crazy. Anyway, as I was trying to find these stairs, I walked down to level 1 where all the Carlton fans were sitting and the players were warming up. And man, I look around the stadium, just Carlton. Carlton, everywhere. It was unbelievable. Anyway, man, the pre-game, the Carlton fans were up and about. We were just chanting and just taunting the Lions because the Lions were warming up on our side. And every time they would miss, man, the whole crowd, it was like the EPL. They were like, hey! But just giving it to them, man. Giving it to them. The energy. They didn't know what was going on. It was freaking hilarious. And man, first quarter starts. This crowd is electric. Now, the Lions fans finally rocked up. But, man, I reckon out of the 30... Let's just say there was 35,000, I think there was there. 36,000. There had to have been at least 15,000 Carlton supporters, man. Which is huge for an away prelim at the Gabba interstate. It was amazing. It was so good, man. It made me proud. And, yeah, man. Before we get into the review... commentators, analysts, all the Brisbane fans even said it, that it didn't feel like a home game. And the Blues fans were in fact louder, especially in the first quarter. My God. That first quarter, let's get into it. The first quarter, man, we gave it everything. Everything, man. We probably gave it all in the first quarter. We fucking annihilated them. It was a pounding. And it could have been more. Probably should have been. I mean, it started with Cottrell kicking a goal. He broke out the back of a pack and solo run inside 50. He was running at like 190,000 million kilometers an hour, sprinting his ass off. Kicked the first goal right in front of the Blues fans. And man, he's celebrating in front of us. And we're fucking losing it, man. First goal of the game can set the tone. And it did. But, man, that was crazy. The roar of this crowd. Oh my God. I thought the Melbourne one... I mean, nothing will compare to the Melbourne MCG game last week. But, man, this was insane. Another exorcism. My God, Harry Mackay, who came in. If you watch my review, he came in. He kicked the next goal. Crowd lost it. And I was very happy for Harry. He had a really good game. Harry Mackay, good on him. Because there's a lot of pressure on him too, man. He had those 2 bad misses against Sydney. Then he got knocked out. But what people fail to fucking realise is, before those 2 shitty misses, the guy was playing really good. He was doing everything right, man. And he did so again, and I was very proud of him too. Harry Mackay kicked a goal. Jack Martin kicked a goal off a stupid 50 given away from the Lions. It was suddenly 19-1 or something like that. Then Doherty kicks another goal, 4 in a row. Then Charlie Curnow straight off the bounce. Man, before you knew it, it was 31-1. We were up by 5 goals. It was just insane. Our crowd went ballistic, man. I turn around. I'm like rubbing my eyes, looking like, is this fucking real? The guy behind me was crying. He was bawling his eyes out. I'm like, man, nah, stop that shit. Because I knew what was coming. I knew exactly what was happening. We went too hard, too early. And not only that, man, we just had nothing left in the tank because we went that fucking hard. And I think, man, I was thinking about it and I had time to reflect over this. It almost seemed like the players were in disbelief at how good this start was. And it was like we got stuck in that mindset and couldn't escape for the rest of the game, which was sad because I knew we could beat them. But man, it was a pounding. The tackling, the pressure, holding the ball, crowd going nuts. The crowd was 100% all Carlton, man, at this point. Brisbane didn't make a sound in the first quarter until Hipwood got the late goal, which sucked because we're probably 1 or 2 more goals away from that game being over, man. That's how close we were. And I think that's maybe why the guy was crying behind me, because he felt it. But I was more realistic, man. I'm just like, nah. Brisbane are too good of a side not to come back, man. We just shocked their system. Completely shocked their system. So they were always going to come back. I'm just gutted that Hipwood kicked that goal. Because really, man, after all our dominance, we were only up by 23 points at quarter time, which is nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's why I said maybe we needed a couple more goals to really just put that doubt in their mind. But once they got that goal and they cut it back to less than 4 goals, man, it's game on. So then it was up to us. But man, that first quarter was something else. Probably one of the best experiences I've ever had, man. Really, that one quarter. So yeah, like, it gave us a real chance and it set us up. But at the same time, I'm realistic at this stage. And I think a lot of Carlton supporters would have been that we were going to drop off because we went that fucking hard, man, and fast, and everything was perfect. It was too perfect. And then last few minutes we copped the goal. Momentum changer, man. Got their crowd into it as well. Second quarter, man, we had a chance to kick the first goal. Harry Mackay out the back of the pack, but went for the dribble kick, man. He shouldn't have. And I reckon if he just set himself, he had time, could have went back and drilled this thing, man. And then Brisbane go on the other end and kick a goal. McInerney kicked a goal. Danaher kicked a goal straight after that. All of a sudden, man, it's a 10 or 11 point lead to the Blues. Patrick Cripps, who didn't have a great game, man. He was one of the ones. There was a lot of injured players and he was fucked. You could tell. Wasn't himself. Those ribs were really, really getting to him, man. He had some padding or something covering it, man. It looked ridiculous. He looked like a Lego figure, like a Lego man. It was that square, this thing that was covering his ribs. But he's had that for a few weeks, man. I think it just took its toll in the end. So he wasn't himself. But he kicked the goal, man. Got us back to 17 points up in the second quarter. There was about 6 minutes to go in the second. And there was just a scramble of play where we were looking to rebound 50. Ball was loose on the 50-metre line. And Fogarty, who didn't have a good game in my opinion, should have went harder at this ball. Didn't get goal side. And I think was it McKenna? Yeah, it was Connor McKenna who kicked the goal. Could have totally been avoided, and it was against the run of play again. And since that goal, man, it was kind of downhill. It was deflating. That's the best word I can describe it. It was deflating. Fogarty didn't look himself either. He looked slow and sore. And he didn't overcommit when in the first quarter, man, we went 110% steam training everything. And this particular play, man, really pissed me off because I saw it coming, gave them the momentum back. Then they kicked a few more goals after that. I think it was Ryan Lester who kicked the goal, and then Danaher put him in front. Put the fucking Lions in front. by 1 point. And it ended up being, at the halfway mark, it was 42-39. So the Lions were up by 3 points. I'm like, all right. They came back and the momentum swung, especially in the last 6 minutes, man. They kicked those 3 goals, which I think it all stems from that one play that I spoke about with Fogarty, man, because it just completely deflated us. And it was shattering that they were up by 3 points, man. And the doubt started creeping in our minds as well. But then again, halftime couldn't come soon enough. We needed a break. We looked tired. We looked dead, fatigued, sore. And third quarter starts, man. Patrick Cripps gives away a 50-metre penalty inside like 10 seconds of play. They go ahead, kick a goal. I think it was McInerney who kicked the goal. I don't know what the fuck the 50 was for. Like, fuck off. Charlie Cameron kicked another goal. Disaster start. Archie kicked a late one. So they blew the lead out by 20 points, man. And Chera, we missed 4 shots at goal this quarter. We just needed 1 goal, man. This was a goalless quarter from the Blues. In a prelim, unacceptable. You're not going to win. Simple as that. Chera missed one with, I think, on the siren. There was probably 20 seconds to go. Easy kick, man. 15 metres out. Not even a bad angle. Shanked it. Fatigue. It's all it boils down to, man. We looked fucked. And I'm telling you, I reckon from the Melbourne game, we only had 1 good quarter in us, and we gave it in the first quarter. And then from there, man, we just couldn't keep up. Credit to Brisbane. They were unbelievable. They capitalised on all our errors, and that's it, man. That's what happens. But yeah, we just got stuck in that mindset, like I said, and fatigue, soreness, tiredness, everything, man. It just crept in. It all took a toll in the end. Last quarter started. They were up by 20 points at 3-quarter time. McCarthy kicked an early one, blew the lead out to 27 points. Patrick Cripps and Harry Mackay got back-to-back goals. Went back to 15 points, man. And then the very next play, Harry Mackay gets pushed in the back, man. No free kick. Would have been very interesting. Would have made it under 10 points. 2-goal game with plenty of time on the clock. Umpires missed it, man. They missed a lot during this game. And look, Brisbane could have got a few calls too. There was an obvious around the neck or high in the 50-metre for Brisbane. I can't remember who it was, but they should have definitely got a free kick for it. But man, there were some dubious ones, especially late for us when we were gaining momentum. So that was sad to see, because then after that, man, McCarthy got the sealer. And I think Jack Martin kicked a late one just to cut the lead back to 15 or 16 points. I think that was the final score. Yeah, it was 79-63 we lost. 2.5 goals, man. And we had that goalless third quarter. That's what it boiled down to. They were relentless, the Brisbane Lions. They capitalised on our tiredness and fatigue and soreness. And they were just better, man. For 3 quarters, they were better than us. And if we were good, well, actually, they were better for probably 2.5 quarters. But, yeah, man, in the middle of the game, lost it for us. Can't go goalless in a prelim. You just can't. And that's what happens, man. So we lost the game, but what an incredible season that was. Unbelievable. I'm so proud, man. I'm so bloody proud of them. There was a few disappointing players in this game. I thought Cripps was, even though he scored 2 goals and he was injured, like clearly injured, he was a little bit disappointing. Harsh, but whatever, man. Akers, he was sore. Sam Doherty was on one shoulder. He didn't have a bad game, but he could have had a better one if he was healthy. Weeders didn't play that great for his standards. He was a bit injured too. You could tell. A lot of sore players out there, man. The most disappointing players, it's harsh because he's had an unbelievable season, but his final series, they're going to start talking shit about it. I think Charlie Curnow, whether or not he was sore too, man, I don't know. But Our forward line let us down. And in hindsight, well, the selections, I would have played Owies, man. And hindsight's a funny thing. Can say it now, but I even said it on the preview in the last episode. Owies, even though he didn't have a great game against Melbourne, I would have played him, man, for his passion and his pressure and his tackling inside 50. Cunningham was harsh to miss out as well, because I thought Kerno, Motlop, Fogarty, Hollands, they weren't great, man. And they were, a couple of them, like Hollands was an inclusion. He didn't do much. Who else came in? Jack Martin. He kicked a couple of goals, but didn't really impact the game at all. And Harry was a good one, man. I was really pleased for Harry Mackay. He actually had a great game. And I wish Charlie was firing, man, because we might have won this game. We just needed someone else to dig deep for us. But yeah, man, always would have been perfect for this game. Probably not saying it's a game changer. Kemp was the other unfortunate one to miss out on this game. But I think defensively we held up all right. If it wasn't for the defense, it would have been a blowout. And I'm glad we didn't get blown out, because we were wrecked, man. It could have been. The top 5 players for Carlton for this game, in my opinion, were McGovern. I thought he was outstanding. Sammy Walsh, of course, he's had a great final series. Jordan Boyd, who came in for Kemp, was unbelievable, man. He was amazing. I loved his game. I loved his energy and his effort. He hadn't played for weeks and weeks because of the suspension. He just couldn't break into the side. I thought Caleb Marchbank was great. All final series, actually, he was really good. That's probably it, man. Everyone else was really quiet. Kennedy was a sub. Didn't really impact much when he came on. He got 6 touches. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Brisbane Lions, the 2 teams that deserve to be in the grand final are Collingwood, who won by a point against Giants, and Brisbane, man. The two of the best teams all year. Now, statistically, second half of the year, Carlton was probably the best, and Giants were probably the best 2 teams. But it's not a sprint, man. It's a marathon. And the 2 best teams are in the grand final. They deserve to be. But again, man, I'm so proud of this team, this Carlton team. I'm pumped for next year. But we've got to make it a goal. Top 4, man. It's so important. You've seen it. Now, the reasons we lost are fatigue and tiredness. And if we had a 2-week break, man, would be fresh and be ready to go. So top 4 is the key. We had too many sore players. Too many. And we gave all our energy, man, in that first quarter. We never gave up on the game. We only lost by 16 points. So that makes me really proud. Also annoys me because we had that great start and we just couldn't hold on. But again, we had nothing left in the tank. We gave it our all. And man, in the end, we reached a preliminary final. We've played in 3 huge, close final games. That's massive for this team going forward, man. And if this t-shirt means anything, I hope it's not just one season that we have to go by this slogan, but stronger together. We have the best fucking fans in the league. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, man. From what I've seen in the last 3 weeks, amazing. Unbelievable. Now, Collingwood are on par with us, I reckon. They've got unbelievable fans. They're loud, they're crazy, passionate, just like the Blue Baggers, man. So I'm going to pick Collingwood for the grand final against Lions. I just can't see the Lions beating them at the G in front of that many Collingwood supporters. I just cannot see it happening. Different story if it was at the Gabba. But there you go. Lots to look forward to for 2024, man. And I really hope we continue this momentum going forward. And like I said, with the slogan, the fans, we're going to be right behind the Blue Baggers, man. And we just got to keep this slogan going forward. Simple as that. I'd love to see it. One thing I do have to say, man. Oh my God. Not only was the Gabba just a shitty fucking stadium to navigate yourself through. Like, it's hard to get upstairs. There's only like one staircase and one lift. Getting out of the stadium was even worse because there's one staircase on the outside that you have to walk to. There's probably 2, which is on the other side. But this one, man, everyone on the top level was going to this It was a nightmare to get out of there. And the one thing I have to mention is they are so fucking cringe. I am not a fan of music between every goal. Now, whether this is a tactic or not, I don't know, man. But it is fucking cringe. When you have songs like, am I not pretty enough? Am I too outspoken? Shit like that after a goal makes me want to do bad things to myself. That's how depressing it is. All these slowed... Frozen was another one. I can't remember who kicks the goal when Frozen plays. And like, what the fuck? Oh, I think Country Road is Charlie's song. Charlie Cameron's song every time he kicks a goal. And that's cringe too. But there was one moment where the crowd started singing it without the music during play. And that sounded kind of cool. It reminded me of the Premier League. Besides that, man, that one moment, every other goal that they kicked and all these slow, depressing songs, I don't know who chooses them, and if it's the players, fuck me. I don't know what the fuck they listen to get themselves pumped. I mean, kudos, but it is cringe, man. And I don't want to see Carlton next year implement any of this shit, man. I fucking hate it. Takes away from the crowd, the energy, and the importance of the game. It completely... You lose focus. And maybe that was a tactic, man. I don't know. But it is fucking lame and cringe. Fuck you, Brisbane. And fuck you, Gabba. Shit stadium. But anyway, man. That's my little rant. Oh, I fucking hated it. Guys, on the channel today, I'll just let you guys know that our social medias... You got to follow us on here. Instagram, balloftruth.pod. Twitter, or X, as it's called now, balloftruth_pod. Follow me on there, guys. I'm always tweeting during the games. I'll be tweeting during the grand final. On the flip side, now that the AFL season is over and we won't be reviewing any more Carlton games, I will review the grand final between Brisbane Lions and Collingwood after Saturday. But, man, we've got the whole EPL to look forward to. Manchester United and everyone else. We're going to review games. We're going to hit that hard. So the podcast won't stop, man. We're going to hit it hard. So look forward to that. After this weekend, we're going to move into that. So I'll be reviewing the United game against Crystal Palace on Saturday night, as well as the grand final, man. So, yeah, we're going to change things up on the channel now. The AFL season is going away for a little bit till March next year. And... I'll be here, man. I ain't going nowhere. So if you like the show, hit the subscribe button, please, guys. It helps the channel out. Click on the thumbs up on this video if you like the show. Click the bell for all notifications. And, of course, man, put a comment in there if you want. Tell me how you guys feel. I'll always get back to you. And, of course, you can follow me on Facebook as well. Ball of Truth page is on there. And also on TikTok if you like looking at little 15-20 second clips. I've got the missus who's a guru at social media uploading clips from the show on there just for a bit of a giggle because we like to have a lot of comedy on this show. So that's it from me, guys. That's my review. Again, proud to be a blue bagger. I'm very proud of everyone who went up there and spent their hard-earned money on this game. Even though we lost, I do not regret one bit of it, man. I fucking love this club. I love all the players, the coaches, Vossi. I can't wait for next year, man, and I think it's going to be a big one, so let's fucking go. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you very soon. Thank you very much. Adios. Goodbye.